The next speaker is Rami Ayoob, who is the Chief Digital Information Officer for Spark Tech Solutions based in Bahrain, who will be speaking about why data is a new soil.
Thank you, Amr, and thank for the audience. So today I'd like to explain, since we are at this summit about big data and the importance of data as a digital asset and so on. So I would like to explain why data is the new soil, why the data will be the fundamental for the next and as a strategic partner and technical tools for any organization. So let's explain before we go about data and the data journey about what is information. Information is a description for any matter, either it is tangible or non-tangible matter. So it's give you a brief about the consistency of this matter and what is about and the information about it. So knowing this information and manage this information will be valuable to take a decision and take the next move and step for any type of action. So what is the value of the data, okay, or the information? Information is so important for us, okay, to recognize how valuable is this information can help me and support me to do a required action. So understanding the information and the mechanism of that information, very important for decision maker to for outcome and predict for what will be the next step. So building a framework to understand and manage this information and govern it is so important and obvious for any entity. So enterprises in different level, from small, medium, and large, they should identify the type of their information, the categories of this information, what is the classification of this data, and how the data should be stored, gathered, and modeled. Then what type of tools I need to use it to process this information. So as a first step to build the foundation, to create a vision and the mission for the enterprise is identify the data that should be gathered. And based on that one, we can move to the next step, what shall be done in terms of manipulating the data, communicate with the data, transition of the data itself, and so on. So it should be clear and identify this information to be classified, well organized, structured or non-structured, but at the end it should be get out with the outcomes. So here, any units, you can find any organization in different types, so either business, education, healthcare. There is an important unit, IT. Okay, so what do we mean by IT? IT is split to two words, is information technology. So part of it is information. So without information, technology is useless. Okay, so as much massive technology you have, as much software you build, different varieties, either infrastructure, software development, on-premise, cloud, without information, these tools is useless. So information is a main part for the technology itself. So they are completing each other. So if we understand the information itself, then we can leverage the technology to support that tools. And here I can come to the next step. When you start any IT department or any infrastructure or any technology, you should do a practice of data modeling. So gathering the data and processing that data is so important. So we need to understand the channels from where we are getting this information, how the information is feeding your database, is feeding your organization. How clearly are this information? How accuracy? The volume of this data. Okay, so data modeling is a critical point and a starting point for any type of development, building a right development, building the right infrastructure, the capacity management, availability management. For example, if this data are critical, so I need this information are available. So based on this availability and criticality for the business, I build the right solution. For example, I need to run my business 24/7, so zero downtime is not acceptable. So based on that need, I build the right solution for that one. So it is a foundation in any process for implementation is the data modeling itself. So I need to gather the data, test the data, to check the quality of this data, what is the dependencies of this data, how this data are linked to another data. So based on that one, I can build the right solution. How visibility this information, who shall access this information. So very critical point here to understand how my information looks like. And then I can build and go to the further steps in implementation, another area from infrastructure. How size is my information? The transaction of my information going and outgoing, availability of this information. How critical is information? Based on the criticality, I build the security architecture, as explained in the panel earlier. So the security is very important here to secure and govern, so I can get the outcome and the value of this information. And here, once the information are built, okay, and understand, information without manipulation and without deep analytics is useless. So it will become, as we call it, as a solid or raw data. So here, data should be manipulated and go inside deep to understand what is this data information about. And based on that one, I can understand what should be the next action, what should be the next movement to do with this information. So today, in data science, we are talking a lot about AI, machine learning, deep learning, structure and structure of data. So very important to us here to understand the type of our data. It should be clean, it should be valuable, it should be processed. The tools can read it. So for example, if I am dealing and managing a big data with different format from videos, text, images, and so on. So how I can extract this information and make it structured data that give me a value. So AI today is helping us to support that vision, to support that direction, to take this information and give me valuable elements to take the next step. What I shall do with this information? What is the story I can come out with this information? Machine learning, building the right algorithms, okay, for data prediction. If I get a data A, okay, and data B, how I can filter A from B, how A and B can help me to get a valuable and a new data, I call it C. So machine learning, AI today is very helpful tools that can support me and can take me to the next step. Also for non-technical decision maker from top management, CEO, chairmen, head of departments, not all of them can read a technical language. So I need to create insightable reports, helpful reports with diagrams, charts, graphics that they can understand how their entire business is working. I can play with this information and I draw an art for them about the business transaction, about their product movement. What is the fast products? What is the slow product? In which area these products are more moving and what is area is slow movement? So based on this information, easily I can take the next decision. So building the right decision is very helpful and valuable, which can create billions of profits. And I come to the last, not least, about enterprise data governance. So risk management is playing a key factor here. So this information, as explained earlier in the summit, it's an asset for the organization. So I should build the right risk management plan for this asset. So writing the plan, how to secure this information, how to measure this information, how to manage it, manipulate it, in terms that we have a risk, for example, how to deal with this risk. Shall we tolerate this risk or manage it or mitigate this risk? Or we can in some time to transfer to the third party, such like insurance company. So risk management is a key factor here to understand how our data is valued, what is depending on this information, putting the right plan to move, assign the right persons to be involved, create an awarenesses program that what is update on this plan, and do regular audit, regular check, and based on that one, we do the right action. So finally, I hope I didn't go long, I make it short for you. So this is the journey, how the data is our new soil. So we need to consider it and we need to treat it as our asset and to give it a proper care. So I would like to thank to all the organizer and in the summit and our attendees. And I hope that I provided a useful information.
Thank you, Rami. That was very useful. That was Rami Ayoob, the Chief Digital Information Officer from Spark Tech Solutions, explaining to us why data is the new soil. Thank you, Rami.